I've spent a lot of my life playing video games, drinking alcohol, and smoking weed, and ultimately leading to where I am today in my 30s with not much money in my bank account and no real career prospects. So I wanted to talk a little bit how I got to where I am today and how I intend to try and turn my life around and the ways I've been working on that since I hit my 30s. So ultimately it comes down to having no real goals or drive to succeed in life. I had no idea what I was doing, where I was going. I had no plans. I couldn't even imagine what I was going to do in the next couple of days. I had a really hard time even imagining the future. If anyone asked me, where do you want to be in 5 years? I had no answer because I just genuinely had no idea. What was I even going to do tonight? I don't know. How can I make plans for the next 5 years? And this world narrative that had been fed to me since I was a kid, that the environment sucks, we're going to ruin our planet, the crops are going to stop growing, or there could be nuclear war. All of these things just compounded into me wanting to disengage. I didn't want to deal with any of this. So what did I do? I just played video games, I drank alcohol, and I hung out with my friends because thinking about the real world was almost just too painful to think about. I didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to face it. I didn't even think about trying to work a job or do any of that. I just wanted to have fun. Just wanted to play video games. But now that I'm in my 30s, I'm really feeling the effect of that. And I've got a lot to say about what I would have done when I was younger. But would my younger self really have listened? Probably not. He probably wouldn't have taken any of the action that I currently do now, because I've had to go through these life experiences, feel the pain of not taking charge of my life and taking accountability for my decisions and doing that now. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been here where I am today with my current mindset. And this is just something I keep coming back to now, because if I implemented the things that I'm doing today, I could have been in a much better position. If I just actually worked a little bit more during my 20s, I could have an incredibly higher amount of savings than I do now. I could have put some away into investments. Maybe I'd have a deposit for a house. Instead, I'm starting from scratch now. I have none of those things. And it's almost as if I'm starting my life now where I should have started it when I was 18, when I left education, when I was at the appropriate age for this. I'm doing it now. At least I can say I'm not in crippling debt other than the student debt that I owe. But luckily, they're not hounding me for that money. But other than that, I don't have an emergency fund. These are all things I learned in the past couple of years, by the way. I didn't know what an emergency fund was before. I don't have much savings. And I have started working on these things now. But my earnings are still incredibly low. I remember the first time I actually earned what was just a normal wage through my self-employed work. I think I earned just below £21,000 for my videography work. I felt like I had earned so much money and I was like, wow, it feels great to actually earn a normal wage. It feels fantastic. And then that all went downhill and I lost it all. And I've been working my way back up since. So there's a lot of things that you can learn from me of what not to do. So let's talk about that. What not to do in your late teens and early 20s and how to not end up a 30-year-old waste man like me. So the first thing that you can do is hang up the video games and get a job. It's not that you actually need to completely give up video games. It's that you shouldn't prioritize video games over going out and working. You see, I worked in a care home when I was 18 and I only wanted to work the hours where I could cover my bills, get the food I need, and that was it. I didn't want to earn any more money. I didn't want to save up anything to put into savings or put any money away. No, I'd rather have that free time to play video games. And now I think that that was a huge mistake. Yes, I enjoyed those times, but I had nothing to do anything with. I wasn't able to do much. The only thing I had time to do was gaming, and that was it, because I couldn't afford to go out or save up to go on a holiday. That was it. So that would be the first thing I'd tell myself is get off of your ass and go and do some bloody work, you idiot. And put some of that money away into a savings account with a high interest rate if possible, open up an ISA, put some into a stocks and shares ISA, and start working towards that compound interest. So really the first thing I would have said to myself is just sort out your bloody financials. The next thing that I would do is set some goals. Set some small interim goals, for God's sake, but just at least have some goals, because I had no goals. I was working towards nothing. The only thing I was working towards was my StarCraft 2 rank. And look where that's got me today. And what I've learned is that if you do set some goals and start working towards them, is that you find out the things that you do want to do and that you don't want to do. So instead of sitting there in complete confusion as to what you should be doing, oh, there's so many things I could be doing, what do I do? Just start doing something. And at least then if you don't like it, there's now something you can tick off the list, and that is something that you are done with. You don't want to do it anymore. Then you can move on to the next thing, but at least try. The third thing that I would tell myself to do is actually go to the gym. And it's not so much for the physical benefits of working out. I was quite fit actually during that age because I did so much skateboarding. It's actually more for the community. I've met so many cool people doing interesting things just by being at my local gym. It's a community centre. And just to go above and beyond that, I wouldn't necessarily even tell myself to go to the gym. I would tell myself to join some sort of community where local people come down and come together. Because that's where you can meet people. That's where you can network. You can find out each other's skills, and you might end up actually working together. And you can make some lifelong friends while you're at it. So I would 100% tell myself to engage in the community instead of isolating myself away in my bedroom playing video games, because I had such a high tendency to do that, and I still do to this day because it's something that I've practiced so much. It is hard to get out of the routine of isolating myself, but I would make myself pull myself out of that and go and engage in my local community. The next thing that I would tell myself is if I have any health worries, health concerns, go and get it checked out. Just go and get it looked at, for God's sake. Don't wait. In my early 20s, I was diagnosed with a lifelong chronic disease known as ulcerative colitis. And for a long time, I was dealing with the symptoms and I didn't have an answer. So I'd say go and get it looked at. It's easier now than ever to identify what's going on with you, because you can just type in what you're experiencing into ChatGPT, and then you've got a bit of an idea. So when you contact the doctor, you're not completely blind as to what's going on with you. I think that the advent of ChatGPT has been fantastic for this, because beforehand you might Google something and it just always leads to cancer. Whatever you search, it just tells you you have cancer and you come away completely scared. I typed in the symptoms as I was experiencing them in my early 20s into ChatGPT literally last week, and the first thing that it spat out was ulcerative colitis. I had no idea what ulcerative colitis even was when I was experiencing this. So having the ability to almost not quite diagnose what's going on, but get a general gist of what's going on through ChatGPT gives you so much more fuel to bring to the doctor. You're going to have a little bit more understanding before you even have your consultation. And the reason why I think this is so valuable is because the doctor that I saw didn't even know herself what was going on. So if I had a little inkling of what was going on, maybe I would have got a referral to the right place just a little bit quicker. Just in the same vein of that, the next thing I would tell myself is to work through the hard times, because I let my diagnosis and let how I was feeling let me withdraw even more. I withdrew from my university course I was in. I stopped trying so much. I wanted to work even less because I was depressed. What I would tell myself, that if you work through these hard times, you'll become a stronger person. And when you're not going through hard times, you'll be so much more capable. So what I would tell myself is to not give up, keep pushing on even though you feel like shit, and you'll come out the other end of it with something to be proud of. The next thing that I would tell myself is to actually travel a bit more, because now I'm suddenly in my 30s, I do have this chronic disease, I've got all this money I need to earn and catch up with all the time that I've wasted over the past 12, 14 years, whatever it is. I would tell myself that with some of that extra money that I'm actually working and earning, to put some aside to travel. See some of the world. If you wait until you get older before you travel, you'll feel too tired. Something will get in the way. Some sort of responsibility will get in the way of you being able to travel. So the best time to do it is when you're young. The next thing that I would tell myself is to appreciate each day as it comes. And this has been one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in recent years. Not every day is going to be a good day. And when you do have a good day, appreciate it. Really take it in and just stand there and think about, well, this is a good day. Just have some gratitude for that day. Because you never know, you might wake up in incredible pain tomorrow. Something terrible could happen tomorrow. So just appreciate today. The next thing that I would tell myself, yes, work more, earn more, put more away, but also continue to have fun. Because if we just spend all of our time working, earning, you're going to get burnt out. You got to enjoy what you're doing. I would also tell myself to find a mentor. A mentor has been incredibly useful to me. There's so much to learn from a mentor. And just to circle back to work and passions, I would tell myself to find a mentor for the thing that I'm passionate for. I've found a mentor in recent years, and this has been so incredibly helpful for identifying ways in which I was working that weren't very useful and doing things in better ways, and just showing me ways in which I just could not even imagined of working, and just some inspiration as well. Mentors are incredibly valuable. I would also tell myself to stick with it. Just stick to the thing that I'm trying to do. Stick with the gym. Stick with the things that you have a passion for and that you enjoy. Because over the years, you'll only get better and better at it. And if you stick with it, those skills and lessons that you learn will compound and make you excel at those things. So just stick with it. I would also tell myself to not fear failure. Don't fear fucking up, because when you mess up, when you do things wrong, it illuminates what you should be doing, or it also illuminates the ways that you shouldn't be doing things. Messing up, fucking up, failing is useful. Don't discount this, and do mess up as much as possible, but make sure you're actually learning from these mistakes. Write down the ways in which you did fail. So that's almost your rule book. So when you go into doing it next time, don't do those things. And write down the things that do work. And the last thing I would like to tell myself is to give. Give the knowledge and experience that you learn to others. Give up your time to help someone in need. There's something really energizing in helping another person, illuminating the ways in which they're doing things wrong, becoming a mentor yourself. And those are the things that I can mainly think of that I would tell myself when I was 18 or my early 20s to try and change the position that I'm in now. And I hope that if you're in your late teens or early 20s and you've happened to listen to this whole video, I hope that you've got something valuable out of this. I hope that I've helped you out in some sort of way, even if it's something small. Even if you just like to listen to my voice, you don't actually care about what I'm saying. I hope that I have helped you. Thank you so much for listening to me today, and I'll see you in the next video.